Richard. How are you?
Rachel, very good to see you. I'm having a good morning.
Good. So to start, last time we talked about my love of Vincent the Doctor.
No,
But
how about
now
that?
you get to you're working with another doctor because you have Jodie Whittaker, who the minute she opened her mouth, I was like, "There's Jodie Whittaker. There's my girl."
Yes,
Um,
yes.
when you have a cast like this that is, some of these voices are so recognizable, like Brian Cox or whoever it may be in that moment. How is it for you as a creative who is writing something like this to see the cast that came together to like bring this story to life?
It's really exciting. And the casting of an animated movie is gripping because what you do is you get lots of images of your character, and then you play next to it the voices of actors who you really love. And sometimes it really surprises you. You think this actor's voice will be perfect, and then next to a different face, it doesn't work at all. It's more high pitched, or it's a bit too frantic, or something. And you have exactly as when you're casting a normal movie, you just get that moment when it fits. So Jodie Whittaker, she's got such a optimistic, lovely, but there's a lilt of sadness in her voice as well that I wouldn't know you would necessarily know was always there, and that suddenly made her the perfect person. So it's a different kind of casting and a different kind of acting, but really fun and really interesting.
Yeah. And I also too with this movie, I love that you gave nods to your past Christmas work because I had like looked down and then I heard the carolers and I was like, that's Love Actually. And then I looked up and it was literally the scene and I was like, great. I love that they just were like, this is just the movie. We're not even animating it.
Yeah.
It's Love Actually. Um, but now that you are, the keeper of Christmas, because this is, I think, your third Christmas
Yes.
story. Um, is it fun to get to write specifically holiday stories and focus like on the joy that Christmas does bring families?
Yeah, and I think, there's different stories to tell. And this movie, which is set in a little town, which is suspiciously like the town where I've spent every Christmas for the last 35 years, it means that I've been able to focus on the idea of community and what makes, what holds us together and what it feels like to be a bit of an outsider and a new person. So I don't think I'd do another Christmas film if I wasn't interested in doing a very different one. And this one's very different from Love Actually, and because it's an animation, very different from anything I've ever done before.
Yeah, and it felt, because I know it was based on a book that you wrote, but it did feel like I was reading a Christmas book at times with how the animation ended up looking. Is that something that when you, obviously not when you wrote the book, but like, was it something when you guys were going through the process that you wanted that animation to feel like it was a kid's book for the holiday?
Oh, well, that's really interesting. I mean, I think that the animation is so gripping as a process because it just starts as line drawings, and then there's this awful bit where it looks like characters from Minecraft. It goes backwards, and then slowly you get these gorgeous, rich characters. So it definitely was. It was just like my kind of dream kids book, and the level of expressiveness though that you get in animation, the way that the characters can have four emotions in 4 seconds, is the thing that makes it very different from books as well, because you really can show such detail so quickly.
Yeah, and I love those twins. I think it's such a fun aspect of this story where it is the one is the naughty one, but in reality, she just cares very deeply for her sister. And when you are doing something that does have all these kids and they have such specific, I don't want to say require or like they have so many specific things about them that make them all unique from each other. What was your favorite part of like creating those kids and making sure like, Danny has his little moment and all of those kind of things?
Well, it's the miracle. One of the thing about making movies is that's why I actually don't like the credit where it says a Richard Curtis film, because there are so many people involved in films, and I remember the moment when we first saw the two little twins on a couch and they were both reading, and you suddenly could see the way they were sitting just said everything about the character. One of them sort of rather stiffly holding a book, and the other one slouching with their legs all over the shop and everything like that. So I think that, the great joy of animation is that it just keeps getting better. So you start thinking, oh, we've got it, and that's what the little face should look like. And then by the end, once you've got the voices and the detail and the animation and the lighting, it's like an endlessly getting better. Whereas in a normal live action movie, you shoot the actor, and that's the performance you've got for the whole time you're editing the movie. So I really loved the process of animation.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. And I loved this movie. I thought it was so sweet. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed. Lovely to talk to you.